I'm out here on Lake Manly a little after 6 a.m. My first time kayaking, and it's so far a big success. I was perfectly still, but now I'm starting to drift in the direction I want to go. But fortunately, there's no wind. Some of my friends were here over the weekend and tried to boat out here, and it was sounded like a nightmare, but it's almost at a dead calm here. I can feel a very, very slight breeze. But Lake Manly, the Panamints over there, a star, and yes, that's the star reflecting in the water, as well as there's salt reflections in the water too. Floating out here on Lake Manly just before sunrise, November 1st, 2023. It's definitely faster walking than it is to kayak, but that's okay. The water seems to be about a foot deep. When I put the oar in, it comes up to about there, so I'll measure that more accurately at home, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the vicinity of a foot. The sun has risen, although it'll be a while before we can see it over the Black Mountains on the other side. But we can see the sunlight hitting the upper Panamints. It'll work its way down and then across to me. And I'm looking forward to that because my feet are getting kind of cold from the water evaporating. It's not that cold out. I do have this sweatshirt on, fleece jacket on. I think it was supposed to be in the low 50s overnight. The lake lost a lot of water over the weekend due to a strong wind. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of salt on the surface as it becomes closer. Well, it may already be at the saturation point. I don't know how salty this water is. I can just say it's very salty. Definitely saltier than the ocean. Don't know how it compares to the Dead Sea. You can see the sunlight moving down Hanapaw Canyon. Looks like it's starting to get to about 6,000 feet. My normal campsite up there is about 3,600, 3,700 feet. So it's got to get lower. It's got to get farther down, but even more farther down because it's blocked by other hills that are between us and it. I don't know why I speak in plural when I'm describing stuff here. It's just me. One man kayak. I guess I'm imagining whoever I'm talking to is here with me. Very peaceful out here. Got the waning gibbous moon up there. You know it's waning if you still see the moon in the sky in the morning. If it's waxing, you see the moon in the evening and then it sets sometime during the night. With waning, it rises during the night. The west coast, or the west shore of Lake Manly is starting to become more visible. I'm just going to let the camera spin with the boat. Now it's drifting very slightly east of north. Although it may actually be north because the valley doesn't go precisely north-south. What I thought was the shore might actually be just less smooth water. Guess I'll find out when I get there. Yeah, I can tell that the wind is going to be working. What little wind there is. The direction of the water moving is going to work against me a little bit, but it's not too bad. Now the sun is hitting the upper part of the alluvial fan. You can see people hanging out at Badwater. At this time, I'm just slightly over halfway to the central point, where hopefully I can see the pile of rocks. If I can find it. It's easy to find when there's no water, but when there is, it might be a little more challenging with reflections. But we'll see. Not sure what they are, but a group of water birds. Now it looks like the Ripley water's ending and it's going to get smoother. Alright, that's the rock pile, covered in salt. This is the central point of the valley, which some call the low point, but it really isn't. Because in 2015, I was about 2/10 of a mile north of here, and it was under 3 inches of water, and all it was just wet with salt at this spot. I'll get back to it. Right here, you can see how deep the water is. It has definitely been roughly 3 inches deeper than that, which is very consistent with what I found in 2015. It's getting shallower here, and I ran aground, so this is where I turned back. I really wanted to go to the other side, but not at the risk of tearing up the boat and having to trudge through the mud. Not sure what those are.